Now, the daily school run is a dangerous business in southern Thailand, where ethnic tensions often boil over into bloody violence. Muslim insurgents are fighting for their own separate state, and they're turning their firepower on teachers, killing more than 150 and torching hundreds of schools. Our Asia correspondent John Sparks has been to the town of Natharawat, where Thai military have been called in to help stop the killings.
An elite detachment, Thai Marines, speeding through bandit country. More troops hold the road as the truck travels on, but the soldiers know they're running late. These men are on their way to a special rendezvous, and this woman, Somchit Wonkajai, can't go anywhere without them. She's a high-value target because she's a teacher. Southern Thailand is in the grip of a vicious insurgency, and in the last few months it's been escalating. Muslim militants are targeting civilians, like teachers, and 159 of them have already lost their lives. So Miss Wonkajai and her colleague start the day like this, travelling to school in an unmarked car, followed by Marines, hoping they'll make it to the front gate.
Travelling to school is difficult. We never know what's going to happen to us. One thing goes through my mind though. I have to go to school. I must do my job, no matter how afraid I am.
They began the day at Ban Chao School with a prayer and the national anthem. Their teachers watched from the walkway, and it all seemed peaceful enough, but the troops stationed at the school were nervous. The school day has barely begun, but the Marines here are already on edge. There's a teenager driving up and down on a motorcycle outside, and the troops here are worried that he's acting as a spotter, an informant for the insurgents. The threat passed and classes began, and the sound of happy chatter filled the air. But the teachers struggle. They know the risks. A few weeks ago, a colleague was shot and killed in the canteen of a nearby school. How do you feel when you look to the open door in your classroom? Do you worry about who's coming in?
Well, I feel scared. If I see a stranger, the sudden fear creeps over me. But I'm getting used to it. Violence happens every day.
Little is known about the insurgents and their secretive movement, although the mask slipped last week when 16 were killed in a raid on an army post. It's thought they're fighting for a Muslim state, and in an unprecedented interview, I got a chance to speak with a serving member of an insurgent cell. What is it that you are fighting for? What do you want?
I don't want to answer that.
People think that the insurgents want a separate country, a separate state, a Muslim state.
That's partially true. But I'll tell you this, the more Thai troops and officials come down here, the more violence there will be.
In the minds of insurgents, teachers are representative of the Thai state, and that makes them vulnerable, particularly if they're Buddhist. One teacher told me how they disguised a colleague when shots rang out nearby.
We all ran to the prayer room for protection, and I was afraid that she'd get hurt. I gave her a Muslim veil to wear over her head, and the children gathered around us and held onto us tightly so the insurgents couldn't hurt the teachers.
It was a false alarm, but fear and uncertainty are ever present here. Nobody, big or small, can escape it.
I get scared sometimes. I don't understand why they have to shoot teachers. I don't understand what they've done wrong.
I'm afraid my teacher will get shot and die, and nobody will teach us.
The violence is shocking, and there's no end in sight. The Thai military, charged with resolving this crisis, is struggling to cope. Their attempt to win hearts and minds, with events like this children's party, complete with pop music and presents, doesn't always work.
Frankly, children don't want to see the military at all. When they're close to kids, schools get burnt and teachers get shot.
Who would teach in southern Thailand? Who would run the risk? We're told that many have requested transfers, but Miss Wonkajai and others say they're staying put. It's the only way to teach right from wrong. John Sparks, Channel 4 News, Naratawat, Thailand.